Hello everyone. Today we're looking at the problem minimum operations to reach target, which was question 2 in Biweekly contest 174. So the question reads that we are given two integer arrays, nums and target, each of length n, where nums I is the current value at index I and target I is the desired value at index I. We can perform the following operation any number of times. So we're going to choose an integer x. We want to find all the maximal continuous segments where nums I equals x. And then for each segment, from L to R, we want to update nums L equals target L, nums L plus 1 equals target L plus 1, etc., etc. And we want to find the minimum number of operations required to make nums equal to target. So this description is a bit of a handful. Really what this is saying is we're going to pick a value, let's say 4. We want to find all the continuous segments where nums I equals 4, and then in one operation, we can update all of those values to reflect whatever is in the target array. So say we choose 4, find all the segments where nums I is 4, and then for those segments, we can update those values to be in the target array. This will make a little bit more sense when we get to look at an example. So in this example here, we have nums equals 1, 2, 3, and target equals 2, 1, 3. And our output is 2. And this is because we first choose x equals 1. And the segments that we can get with 1 are from 0 to 0. So what we can do is then take this range 0, 0 and update it to what's in our target, right? So now this becomes 2. Now if we choose 2, what we could do is we can then find all the segments of 2's. So remember, this is now a 2, so we can find this segment here, update all of those values. So at this point, we would be done, right? So this would be 2, this would be 1, and really at this point, we've done 2 operations and converted our nums to a target. Let's take a closer look at a little more complex example and see how we can solve this. So here we have an example that's a little bit more complex. So our nums is 1, 2, 2, 1, 3, 4, 5, and our target is 1, 3, 4, 2, 4, 5, 6. So you can see there are a lot of mismatches here, and I think this will provide some good insight into how we can actually solve this. So if you remember, we kind of went through and chose different x values each time. So let's kind of play through and see what would happen if we did that. So let's say that we have x equals 1, right? Let's think about what our segments are that we can update. Well, we have 0 to 0, right? And you could see that here because this is the entire continuous segment of 1s, and we also have 3, 3, right? So here we have found 2 segments, and this is a big insight to have that other examples will show, is that we can actually find all the segments of a particular x value. So we chose x1, but we have 2 segments. So now what we could do is we could update all these values. So here 1's already 1, nothing to do, but here we could update to 2, right? So here we kind of see that we choose 1 and we can find all these segments and update them. So again, let's do 2. So what do we do? Well, we have one segment here from 1 to now 3, right? So we could update all these. So this becomes 3, 4. And now, again, if we just follow this through, we're going to end up having 3 more operations here, one for this spot, one for this spot, one for this spot, because these are all different values. So you can see we're kind of having the thought process of going through all of these x values and actually running through the array, seeing the segments. And this is something we could do, but there's a slightly simpler way that we can solve this without having to do multiple iterations. So the key concept here is that we can update all instances of a value. And you kind of saw that when we did our 1 and 2 example. We found all the places where nums was 1, and we could update that value to the target value. Similarly for 2, we found one segment, but we could update all of those values in the segment. So really what we could do is we can find the number of operations by first finding all the mismatches, right? So we're going to find all of the places where our nums and target do not equal, right? And then what we could do is say, well, I know I can update all of a certain value at one time. So let's say that I keep track of the nums values of places where there's a mismatch. So let's go back to the original example and see what that looks like. So here what I'm going to do is find the nums values in all the places where there are mismatches, right? So let's have a set here where you can keep track. So here, no mismatch, so nothing to do. Go to the next index. Here we have a mismatch, so let's keep track of 2. And you'll see why we're doing this towards the end. So again, another mismatch. We want to keep track of 2, but again, this is a set, so we already have it. Let's come here, 1 and 2 mismatch. Let's keep track of 1. Mismatch here, 3. Mismatch here, 4. Mismatch here, 5. So what we've done is we went and built this set of all the nums values where there's mismatches, right? So how does this help us? Well, this is actually the number of operations that we have to do, right? Because remember, we can update all of a particular num value at one time. So if we have 1, 2, or 100 2s, it doesn't matter. In one operation, we can update all of those. So literally what we're saying here is, I know the number of unique values that I need to update, right? I don't know how many 2s there are, how many 1s, how many 3s, how many 4s, how many 5s, but I know that I can do all of them in one time. So really what I'm doing here is just saying, this is the number of operations that I need to update, and this is my answer. And we can walk through and see exactly what this looks like. So let's first update all the 2s in one operation. So here we have 3 and 4. Let's update all the 1s. 1 here, update 2 here. Update all the 3s, 2 of 4. Update all the 4s, this becomes a 5. Update all the 5s, and this becomes a 6. So you see, we've done 5 operations, but now we have identical arrays because we simply need to narrow it down to the number of unique num values that don't match their targets, and that is the number of operations that we have to do. So time complexity here is O of n, right? We just have to go through this array one time and find all the mismatches and record those values. The space complexity is a little bit trickier to reason about. Technically, you could say it's O of n, maybe, because technically the amount of the amount of values that we have to store could change based on the input, but really at most we're going to be storing 10 values, right? So we have like a constant upper limit. So we could also say it's constant. I think as long as you can make the argument either way, you kind of have an argument here, but really saying like maybe it's O of 10, with 10 being the maximum number of values that we can have, is a good way to approach this. Let's look at the code and see exactly how this works. So the code for this problem is incredibly simple and very easy to reason about. So what we're going to do is first set up this mismatches set. And this is the set we're going to record all of the num values that do not match the target. And remember, there could be many instances, like there could be many 2s in nums that don't match up to the target, but we're only going to record it once because we can do all the operations at one time. So then we're going to go through our nums array, and we're going to check, does the value in nums equal the target, the value in target? If they do not equal, we're going to add this value into our set. So then at the end, we're going to have a unique set of values that don't match the target. We can just return the length of those mismatches, since that's the number of operations that we have to do. Let's submit and make sure that it works. And it does work. Hope this was helpful and made sense. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe, and thank you for watching.